Hello, my beautiful kindred souls, and welcome to my spiritual oasis. Here, weary souls come to find inner wisdom and peace. Today, we are doing a pick a card reading, a Soulful7 pick a card reading that's going to be guided by our element of water today. So, we are going to have 3 groups to choose from, and as I shuffle out the groups, just because I wanted you to see me doing this on camera, we're going to do our little intro. So, as always, I always like to invite you to join the Kindred family by subscribing to my YouTube channel here. If you're not already connected with me, please do click like on the video and drop a comment down below if something resonates with you. If you're being drawn to one or more groups, please watch more than one, because your unique message could be a combination of both or all of them. So we're organizing the video a little bit like this. There are going to be timestamps down below for all of the different segments of the video, so you can skip right to that if you don't want to listen to me talk in the intro. But basically, we're going to have, again, the element of water guiding us. Each of the groups represents one of the astrological signs. So we're going to be kind of letting the energy flow. I'm feeling very connected. I'm feeling very watery and fluid today. I just took a nice long shower, and so I'm like, just got in water, and so I'm feeling super awake and alive and excited about this reading. Wasn't planning on doing a reading, but then my water energy was like, let's do it. And I said, okay. All right, so water energy. Just because you don't have astrological signs or placements in water signs, all of the elemental energy in some way, shape, or form plays out in our lives. So the element of water connects to our emotions, which I feel like is pretty well known, I guess. Emotions, spirituality, love in all its ways, shapes, and forms. So yes, romantic love, but also love of self. It also talks about love of like things we love to do and how we connect with and enjoy the world around us as well. So there's a lot of energy around love, familial love, romantic love, self-love, all of the loves. Water energy is, as you know, water is a fluid, and it works, functions in its highest vibration when it has freedom and ability to flow. So flow energy works really well with water. When water is too contained or too restricted, there are blockages and issues that happen, and there's, it's like putting up a dam, it stops that water from moving, and, it builds up pressure, I guess, behind it. Water also needs a container. It needs some sort of kind of structure, guidance, if you will, to help push it in a way that makes sense to us, or it will kind of just go everywhere. And I'm sure you've encountered someone, or maybe you are that someone that, emotionally, if it's reflected emotionally, your emotions kind of spill out all over the place. You're a little turbulent when it comes to emotions. But usually water does well when it has a guide, and it's strengthened and its power is emphasized when it has a direction. And we often think of like a river or something of that, where basically earth provides a bowl or a tube for the water to flow down. So it gives it its freedom, right? It can still make its own way, but it's kind of keeping it all together so that that water energy can work and flow and move, but be guided. So all of those areas are up for grabs when we're talking today. And like I said, just because you don't have water sign placements or strong water sign placements in your chart, this could be connected to your spirituality, love, romance, self-love, flow, allowing energy to come in and out. It also covers creativity as well. Creativity is covered under our water signs. Intuitive energy is covered under our water signs. So intuition, often connected with spirituality, all of that stuff is covered. So we have our 3, again, astrological signs we represented by the group. So we have Cancer for the first group on the far left. Our middle group is going to be Scorpio, and then our far right group is going to be Pisces. So you can pick based off of the astrological sign, pick based off of whatever energy you're connecting with each card, or again, watching a combination of the readings to see what vibes and what you connect with the most. Okay, I think I kind of covered everything. Maybe I can go a little bit into each of the signs. Again, there's links in the description if you don't want to listen to me talk, but I just want to talk a little bit briefly about each of the signs. So Cancer is a cardinal water sign that basically talks about family. You know, Cancer energy is very much so connected to family and home. Our physical space is home, but also our emotional space and the things that bring us comfort, emotional comfort. Cancer is associated with the 4th house, which again is that home space, house, family, mother, nurturing, maternal instincts, and it's like anybody, you know, Cancer is represented by the crab, right? So Cancers often protect their sensitive, emotional side with a shell, so they can come off kind of harsh, kind of crabby or difficult, often can come off emotional as well, or their emotional space can be kind of a little tumultuous. They can come off a little difficult or challenging. But once you get inside, once you become a part of Cancer's family, so whether that's your like literal blood family or you become somebody that they really care about, you will receive immense amounts of nurturing, nourishment. They like to dote and care and provide and all that sort of stuff for the people that are inside of their shell that get to see their soft space. Trying to just think if there's anything else lingering out there. So moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio is a fixed water sign in astrology, represented by the scorpion. Scorpio is, let's see, Scorpio. Scorpio is one of the most misunderstood astrological signs in my humble opinion. I feel like people have really strong opinions either way about Scorpios. And let's see, Scorpio, okay, so Scorpio being a fixed water sign means that they can be very stubborn when it comes to their emotional space and emotions. So I feel like of the water signs, they're the least like flippity floppity and tumultuous, although they are a water sign, so there is that possibility of having that flippity floppity, but they're pretty like, once they make a decision, once they decide how they feel about something, it's really difficult to like change how they feel. All of the water signs are intuitive. I didn't really mention that in Cancer, but all of the water signs are really intuitive. Scorpio like knows the truth. Like they can look at people or a situation and they just know the truth. They know if someone's lying. They know if someone is being honest and telling the truth. They have very strong intuitive abilities, and again, that's all the water signs. Scorpio is connected to the 8th house in astrology and is traditionally ruled by Mars. I didn't mention what Cancer's ruled by the moon, okay? But for Scorpio, ruled by the Mars, all of the planets, so the moon and the sun are not planets, right? I call them heavenly bodies. All of the planets, so Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter. Again, I do the traditional rulers. All of the traditional planetary energies have both a masculine and a feminine side to them. So Mars, Scorpio is the feminine side, the dark side, if you will, the yang, or the inwardly expressively strong side to Mars energy. So we all, I feel like, are familiar with Mars. Mars is the planet of war. It's often associated with masculine energy and Aries energy, and it's very intense and hot and fiery. But there is that kind of what I would say cool side to Mars. And when I say cool, I don't mean cold like the moon. I mean cool as in inwardly intense and strong and like inner war almost. Like fighting from the inside, not necessarily fighting outwardly, right? Because Aries is very robust, outwardly expressive sort of energy, whereas Scorpio is that inner warrior, the assassin, if you will. And Scorpio is just as intense and competitive and all of that stuff as Aries, but it's just all like inwardly focused, inwardly strong. So for example, Scorpio will be, shooting for that goal, wanting to achieve that thing, but you will never know until it's done, okay? So again, Scorpio the assassin. Scorpio, again, is connected to the 8th house. The 8th house is all about change and transformation, and change and transformation. So I always like to associate it with, when we think of, again, Mars energy, we think of war. We think of kind of the dark side of war when we're talking about Scorpio. So the light side of war, if you will, would be, the warriors and the knights they're charging out, they're the face of battle. They're kind of like the majestic sort of energy that we, in quotation marks, celebrate with war, whereas Scorpio is the other side of war, death, the destruction, scars, and the trauma even that comes after war. Okay, so Scorpio energy is all about like working through those difficult, challenging parts of war. And part of the 8th house is like releasing and letting go of that life, if you will, that life before the war, so that you can be reborn into life after, if you will. So we go through all sorts of changes and transformations throughout our entire lives, and I just went deep and intense into Scorpio. I do have a couple of Scorpio placements, by the way. So, we go in, we go deep. We're not afraid of the darkness, and neither is Scorpio. So let's move on to Pisces. So Pisces is a mutable water sign and connected to the 12th house of the unseen, of, mystery and enemies and all sorts of interesting and metaphysical sort of energies in the 12th house. The 12th house is always one of those houses that's really challenging to describe because, again, it's one of those like unseen houses. It's one of those it's a spiritual house. So Pisces, being a mutable water sign, as you can imagine, flippity floppity is a hallmark of Pisces energy, along with kindness, almost to the point of difficulty. So one of the biggest challenges for Pisces is to develop strong boundaries for themselves from a emotional and spiritual perspective. Extremely intuitive, spiritual energy, spiritual people. Pisces, very kind, very empathetic, because they can feel the woes of the world. Being that 12th house sign, being the last sign in the zodiac, they kind of get residual energy from all the other houses. So they can empathize with people and just kind of feel where people are. And again, that mutable water allows their emotional space and spiritual space to flux a lot, which I feel like is a strength as long as you have strong boundaries set. All right, so our Pisces are represented by the fish and traditionally ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter energy, again, Jupiter is expansive, and they're the divine feminine side to Jupiter energy. But Jupiter energy is very expansive and lucky and big energy Jupiter, which for Pisces manifests in big imagination, big heart, big creativity, you know, so it manifests in that way, whereas Sagittarius, the other side of Jupiter energy, is on that fiery, passionate travel, adventure sort of bigness. All right, so that was a lot of talking as well. Again, you could have skipped through if you wanted just to pop right to the readings, but pause the video at this point if you need a moment to meditate on your group, now that you have probably more information than you ever wanted in your life, and then we're going to move right into the readings. Hello group 1/Cancer group, welcome to your reading. Again, we have our messages are being guided by water energy. This particular group is kind of being looked at through the lens of Cancer, or kind of encompassed by Cancer energy, which is going to talk a bit about family and sort of energy like around family and home and all of those things. So let's go ahead and flip over your guiding energy. Healing. I love that. And it has started to storm, so I don't even know if the lighting is even right anymore. So I'm gonna turn on some supplementary lighting assistance. Okay. So healing. I love that healing came up in your group, especially since our focus is on water energy, because water is very healing. And I said this in the introduction that I just took a shower right before this reading, and that's actually what encouraged me to do this reading, just because I felt very at peace and just super in tune and connected. And I feel like water energy is very healing, and that's from consuming water, so drinking a lot of water. I feel like taking showers or baths, like soaking in water, because we as humans are 70% water. So it makes a lot of sense that we would be in collaboration with water a lot. I feel like this could talk about water healing in all of its ways, shapes, and forms too. It could talk about physical healing. It could talk about spiritual healing, emotional healing, healing from the past, healing from, what am I thinking? Like, self-inflicted, sort of like when you get in your own head and you start doubting yourself, or you start like, throwing like negative energy into your mind space, and it ends up manifesting in your life. So healing on so many different levels, and using water as a conduit for spirit to heal all of the different spaces in your heart and in your life. So that could be talking about love and relationships as well. So we have Spearmint, and this is, looks like Seiko Shaka, but that's not the right color. So conviction is the key word. My voice is heard is what Spearmint is. I'm just looking this up really quick because I'm all raised eyebrows. Oh, throat chakra. That makes a lot more sense. Oh, they're showing the throat chakra symbol different than what I'm used to. Sorry about that. I'm used to the throat chakra being shown in a different way, a different symbol for it, but makes a lot of sense that that spearmint, a very obviously minty essential oil, will be connected to the voice. And Spirit is just reminding you that your voice is heard. So as you're healing, I feel like the healing would then be connected to, could be talking about your vocal cords. It could be talking about your confidence to speak up and speak out for yourself and or for others. But specifically, I'm feeling for yourself. Even if you've been shot down or put into a difficult position, in your past where maybe your voice wasn't heard, you were ignored, whatever the case may be. Stand strong and communicate your message. The world is ready to receive what you have to share. And then we have the root chakra here. That is reminding you that you are grounded. Okay, you are grounded, you are rooted. Right here now, everything is perfect in this moment. You are grounded, you are safe. Allow your energy to shift to the material plane where it is needed to help you complete what you have set out to do. You know, I'm really just feeling like Spirit is gearing you up to do something. And with Cancer being our guiding sign in this message, you know, Cancer is a cardinal energy, and cardinal energy is all about initiating, starting stuff. So I feel like Spirit is potentially gearing you up to begin or to start something, whether it be a career, a business, something connected to advocacy, or maybe you are, especially if you're connecting with like water energy or Cancer energy, any kind of water energy, but Cancer energy, maybe you are a healer, becoming a healer in some way, shape, or form. I'm getting psychologist, I'm getting physical therapist, I'm picking up energy around like spirit or soul work and helping people heal themselves from the inside out, motivational speaker, or like someone who helps people with like their inner self-esteem, different things like that are kind of some of the messages I'm picking up here. So we have the 9 of Acorns, and Acorns connects to fire energy in this deck. So the 9 of Acorns is really talking about power and perseverance. Again, I feel like Spirit is really gearing you up to take on something and just reminding you that you are powerful, that you have the ability to persevere and to navigate through any challenges that are thrown your way. So we have the 4 of Acorns as well as the 10 of Feathers. The 10 of Feathers talks about recovery and transformation. I feel like that's connected to healing. The 10 of Feathers also, Feathers is air energy, but the 10 of Feathers talks about kind of being at the lowest point in a situation, so that therefore the only way to go from there is up. And so I feel like that's kind of the healing message. And we have the snake as well in this card, and snakes talk about, you know, healing and transformation, shedding that old skin so that you can continue to grow, right? So if the snake stayed in its skin, it wouldn't be able to grow. So I feel like there's a message around you reaching your limit and needing to shed your old skin, your old life, your old ways, your old places and spaces and peoples that you are outgrowing. So that you can continue to grow as a spiritual being. With the 4 of Acorns here, comfort and community are really strong messages here in the 4 of Acorns. And I feel like if you have not like found your soul tribe, maybe you're in the process of, I feel like working on healing yourself is actually going to manifest a really strong group of like-minded, energetic people that are going to come into your world and create a community around you. I feel like this makes a lot of sense too with Cancer energy, because again, when I was talking about Cancer, I was talking about Cancer being the type of energy that kind of like difficult to get in, but once you're in, you are a part of the community. You are a part of that space of comfort and nourishment and nurturing. I feel like, I'm looking at this walrus here in the imagery, and it just reminds me of the Planet Earth specials and other Animal Planet and things like that I've watched, where walruses you always see them rolling deep, you know, like they're always laying up on a rock somewhere with all of their people around them, and they're just kind of all together, lumped up together. And there's many reasons why. It's for protection a lot of times, but I feel like it's also for, again, that community, camaraderie, comfort, safety, all of that sort of energy is coming through here as well. I feel like your family, your community, friend circle, friendships are going to be really grounding for you and help you to stay rooted, and also help you through your healing process, especially if you've kind of been around people or around energy that is toxic. I feel like it's really important to be mindful of who you keep around you, is what I'm saying, because that energy is going to rub off on you. So you want to make sure that it's positive energy. We have the tiger, which is, the tiger is challenging you to do something risky and to take a chance. I mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, again, because Cancer energy is cardinal energy, and cardinal energy is initiating, starting things. There's a bit of a risk taker energy connected to it. That's really strong. If you are feeling guided to start something, begin something, initiate something, then I feel like the tiger here is encouraging you to follow your heart and follow your intuition with whatever this is. And then we have the key, which talks about successful outcomes to your problems. And since our whole message here is around recovery and, you know, conviction, your voice being heard, grounding yourself, creating a strong community, maybe taking some risks, a reminder that you are powerful. And, you know, this cat imagery as well, I can't ignore. We have the panther as well as the tiger. So I feel like there's really strong messages around independence, but also I kind of feel like that's Cancer energy. Like, Cancers, because they are cardinal, they do have that initiator, again, initiation, going out and starting things, getting things off the ground, trailblazer sort of energy, but they also are water. So, you know, water droplets typically don't want to be by themselves, so they run down your window to go and find buddies to be a part of, you know, to connect to. So I feel like there's kind of this mix of energy, and embracing both of them, embracing both community and independence is actually going to be your saving grace. It's going to be begin, be, or complete your road to healing. And I just feel like you're in a place of change, you're in a place of transition. So be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself. Focus on healing yourself from the inside out, grounding yourself in, again, that community, that the comfort of the people around you that are positive and high vibration and that are supportive. And again, if you're being called to take a risk, to start something, to initiate something that's been in your heart for a while, Spirit is encouraging you to take the first next step to doing just that. So my beautiful souls, these are the messages that I have channeled for you today. I hope this was helpful. If something resonated, do drop a comment down below and let me know it did. Click a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are not already connected here on YouTube. And if you're interested in your own personal reading, you can connect with me on Etsy. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for your time and energy, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello, group number 2, our Scorpio group, and welcome to your reading today. Our Soulful7 messages are being channeled through water energy, this group specifically through the sign of Scorpio. So I feel like could be a lot of energy around change and transformation, as those are calling cards for Scorpio, or maybe that's just the lens in which we will be navigating this message through. So let's go ahead and flip over your guiding energy. Go with the flow. How very fitting for our water messages today. I mentioned in the intro that flow is water's that's a strong point of water. You know, earth doesn't really flow, right? Air flows. Fire, if fire is flowing, it's usually destroying things, so we often don't want fire to flow. But water, like, that's water's sweet spot, is in flow. So the message that I'm getting right off the bat, especially if you're connecting with Scorpio energy, is because Scorpio is fixed water, it almost reminds me of like a lake. So Scorpio goes deep, but it's, you know, on the surface, it almost looks as if there's no life, you know, going on the surface. Sometimes I feel like Scorpio energy can be stagnated because it does go so deep, and it's not, you know, it can be fixed. It can kind of be stationary, which stationary water can be troublesome sometimes, because again, water's natural state is to want to flow. So I feel like there's a message around, you know, especially if you're being stubborn about something, to kind of loosen up on that stubbornness and be open to new ideas, be open to new perspectives and points of view, and messages. That is what I'm receiving for you. Okay, so we have the Five of Feathers. Feathers connects to air energy in this deck, so strategy and resilience. Ooh, I like that. Nine of Crystals, security and abundance. And then we have the Shaman, which is the Hierophant equivalent in this deck. So, okay, so these are the messages that I'm getting right away for you. Boundaries are important. Being strategic is important, which being strategic is not really a challenge for Scorpio, because Scorpios are strategists, right? They're connected to that Mars energy, and Mars is about war, and you often have to strategize in order to actually be successful and win battles and such. So, but there is a message around not ignoring your emotional space, because that is a strength. As Scorpio energy, that's a strength. Your intuition is a strength. But there is a message around using your mind space a little bit more, and trusting in your mind space and your logic and reason as well, in collaboration with your emotional and intuitive spaces, to strategize. Develop strong boundaries or strong borders, however you want to think about it. The Nine of Crystals here to me is talking about crystal is earth energy, that's security, it's talking about abundance. So I'm feeling like there's a message around, you know, with you flowing, going with the flow, being a little bit more mutable, if you will, and open to ideas and strategies maybe outside of yourself. That security and abundance live on the other side of that. Sometimes, you know, we try to we grip when we are afraid or when we're in unknown territories, and I feel like there's a message around loosening up, going with the flow a little bit more, especially if you're navigating something that you're not familiar with. And then the Shaman does talk about divine wisdom and spiritual power. So I do feel like Spirit is reminding you that you are spirit first. You are a spirit, you are energy having an earthly experience, and do trust in your intuition, but also understand that your mind, your emotions, your intuition, all of these powers are and tools. They're all tools that were given to you in order to navigate your life. So I guess the message really is like, don't look at any one of those things as being better than the other. Think of them all as tools, and be more flow more between them, rather than feeling like one of them is more important. Like, listen to all of your advisors. Yeah, it's a good way. I like that. Think of them all as advisors, okay? So think of your intuition, your logic and reason, and your emotions as advisors. So listen to all of your advisors and allow the messages, allow yourself to kind of make the final decisions or make the final directions based off of, that assistance, but not to think that one is more important than